this is your friend and host Hari Nakai, and I welcome you all to Honeywalia Shows. At Honeywalia Shows, we introduce you to people who have achieved great heights in their respective careers. And you know that today we have Mr. Naim Kular on our show. Mr. Naim Kular is available on our show every Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock. And we have been discussing a lot of things with Mr. Naim Kular, like his current listings, COVID situation, how is it affecting the market, and where are the houses more sold, and what are the kind of location he's selling. Today we are doing a show which is a little different today. What we want to do is we want to ask him why a customer should buy from Naim Kular, and what is his expertise, what is his unique selling features, what is the market a buyer market or a seller market. So to know all these things, I would request you to subscribe our channel as well as like our shows, and also you can put some comments on the show below. So I welcome again Mr. Naim Kular on our show.
Hello Paji, how are you doing?
I'm good very much, and thank you very much for asking.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. So Naim, I just want to know this thing, that what are you doing differently as compared to what other realtors are doing in the market?
Definitely, good question. A lot of people ask me. So the best thing I tell my clients, my builder clients or my buyer clients, my selling clients, I work with a lot of new builders. I myself, before becoming a realtor, was a builder. So I started my own construction company. I was working in a heavy industrial company, so I know the background of construction.
Okay.
So I understand construction. I understand the cost perspective. So when it comes to building a house or buying a house, I can give them that expertise from my background of managing projects of bigger caliber with industrial company, and then building my own homes that I've built homes for my clients before becoming a realtor, and then venturing out into this career along with building.
So that means you have quite a good knowledge about the construction industry.
Definitely. So the biggest thing would be like, okay, well, anybody can go build a home. You can general contract, and you can hire people to build a house for you.
Yeah.
Well, the reality is there's a building code.
Yes.
So the building code recently, now new one has come into effect, the ABC 2020, which now is, I think, in effect as of April or May. So before that was April of 2015. Some people don't even know that it exists. A lot of the builders that are single builders or private builders or people that just go out there and build a house don't even know that such thing exists.
So when we talk about the building code, is it just for the new house, or what is happening with the old houses?
No, those houses were completed, or buildings were completed as per that code when they were built. Okay. So which they're fine.
Yeah.
But now going forward, that's the code that you need to adhere by to build that house. So it has obviously changed. It's the engineering's got better, the layouts have gone better, so the energy efficiency in the house has gone better. So there's a lot of things that are involved, be it a walkout, be it detached, be it attached, be it townhomes. So there's a lot of things that are in the building code that a lot of younger, smaller builders don't understand or don't even know that it exists.
Absolutely. So because the reason why I'm asking is because a lot of people who are asking, they're coming and they're asking about the questions like triple pane windows, egress windows, and
legal requirements in terms of legal basements, and the height of the house. All those things matter.
Yes.
All those things.
Yes,
so so my biggest USP is that I understand that. I do that on a daily basis. I deal with a lot of new builders, so it's easier for me to guide people through that process because I understand it. So when I go to an older home, or if I go to a new home built that is ready for possession, or it's a spec home, I can tell my clients that this is built to this code, this is built to this code, it has an HRV or it doesn't have an HRV, it has so many efficiency, or this is what the requirements are in terms of architectural guidelines, in terms of building code requirements. So I can, because of my basic knowledge of building and doing that, being involved, having a construction company of my own of building homes, I can tell them that it makes the process easier. And even if they want to build with the builder from scratch, it's easier for me to guide them through that, because sometimes even the salespeople at the show homes do not understand the process of construction. They pass that information on, or pass the client on once the deal signed to a construction manager.
Absolutely. And do you think the builders who are building the houses nowadays, they have changed the pattern pattern of building the houses as compared to what they were doing 4 or 5 years back down the line?
Definitely. So what is the biggest changes, as you probably have seen, is the basements have become on a standard now 9 feet ceilings.
Yes.
Most of the homes now, usually the builders that are smart enough, that are kind of ahead of the curve, most of their blueprints plans incorporate a separate entrance to the basement, because that has kind of become now, as prices of the houses keeps on going up, not everybody can afford a home once they buy it.
Right.
So having those basic features, 9-foot ceiling in the basement, you develop the basement, having a separate entrance, it's become a really kind of a unique point that everybody's now kind of looking for it. So they're certainly changing that.
Absolutely. Even I have thought and even I have come across these things that people have become knowledgeable now as compared to the other, like the
Previous, that's right.
So what they are looking for, like we talk about the California knockdown ceiling.
That's
and
right.
We have that cabinets till the roof. Earlier it used to be granite counters, now it's quartz.
That's right.
So the awareness has actually, what has happened to that?
So availability of information, right?
Yeah.
So be it social media, be it just information in general, we talk about cell phones, it's a small computer in your hand.
Absolutely.
So you can use it or you can abuse it depending on what you want to do with it.
Yes,
Right? So what has happened is there's a lot of information. My parents or myself, when we were growing up, we didn't have that information. Now that information is handy. So like you said, washrooms, nobody had countertops or quartz countertops, or even the bigger builders.
Yeah.
They would put countertops in the kitchen, either quartz or granite, and then washrooms would be basic wood. But that's where they got most used and abused, and realized 3-4 years later that this is not a good fit. We gotta have, it's not that much of a money. We should upgrade. Absolutely. Because as you use the washroom, the water penetrates and the wood becomes it's not a good value. You have to replace that before you sell it in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Even people I've seen people have gone through like from hardwood they are changing it to tiles.
That's right.
And there's something, because they are becoming educated day by day. So when we talk about all those things, what do you think, like what is your expertise when we talk about, because you said you are already a builder, right?
That's right.
So when we talk about this, are you selling from the seller's point of view or the buyer's point of view nowadays?
I sell it from both points. I tell my clients that are buyers, we go take a look at the house, either a used home or a brand new house. I said, don't buy the house to live in it for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
Buy it that eventually you're going to sell it. So either you're buying it now, you're going to have to renovate it because it's used, or you're buying it brand new. So I tell them, hey, hardwood was in trend. It was kind of a thing to do 10, 12, 15 years ago. Maybe the engineered hardwood was even better, But what has happened, Canada is not a very friendly environment in terms of climate for the hardwood.
Absolutely.
Because the harsh winters, especially here in Alberta, they're very dry, and the summers, as you've seen, are very wet. So what happens is the hardwood gets, it shrinks, it expands. And a little bit of penetration with the water or scratches, you have to replace the whole hardwood. So people now have gotten used to the idea that tiles don't really actually, with the porcelain tiles, actually don't get that cold in the winter. Absolutely. So people started putting tiles. The other thing that has come along is the LVP, the luxury vinyl planks. People are kind of getting away even from the carpet.
It's a new trend.
It's a new trend. Yeah. So people are even getting away from the carpet on the second floor. Yeah. They've realized that most of the area in the bedrooms is covered by the bed. The washrooms have tiles or LVP anyways. Yeah. All this, the carpet is collecting these dust mites, these, environments that you really don't want to live either with kids or older people. So they're getting away from the carpet as well. So these are the trends that I tell people. I said, hey, this is what is going on for currently what people are looking at, what's going to be selling in the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years. Be it the height of the basement ceiling, be it the carpet on the second floor, be it the tiles or the hardwood. Some of those things, or like we talked about, the kitchen is always finished to the ceiling with the knockdown California. So those things you kind of try to tell them. But people, I also tell them that architecturally, I know people have started doing a lot of stuff on the outside. They've got the angled roofs, they got those things going on.
Designs and all these things,
They look cool right now because it's something new.
Yeah.
But the standard, if you look at some of the areas in Edmonton, for example, Summerside, it's kind of more French country. And the French, if you look at architectures from back then, from there, they're still pleasing to the eye and they're very common. So I tell people, maybe looking pleasing right now, but in 5, 6, 10 years when that trend isn't there, those houses are going to look odd. Absolutely. Because people are always urged, always attracted to the classics.
Even I've seen, like, as a realtor, you might have noticed this thing, that the old houses, like maybe 30-40 years old houses, they are also renovated now with a new trend.
New trend.
Yeah,
That's right.
So when we talk about now from the realtor's point of view, there is a huge difference in all these things, right?
That's right.
So most of your buyers, are they looking for new houses, or they are also inclined towards the old houses yet?
There's just like cars, just young generation people, they want new things. They want the new phone. We've been wired as a society now. The generation growing up in the last 10-15 years, they've been wired. They want the latest iPhone. They want the latest computers. They want the latest, whatever information or data or social media things. They want the latest things. So that trend also turns into cars, and even though it might not be the best thing to do, but it also turns them into newer houses. They want something new. But there are still people that have grown within older neighborhoods where the neighborhoods mature. They don't have to worry about construction noise, don't have to worry about parking, don't have to worry about taking the bus or don't have to drive. They love the old mature neighborhoods, and the lot sizes are bigger.
Absolutely.
And they're more convenient. They were designed that way. So people, there are a lot of people that are still going back to kind of older mature houses, neighborhoods where they renovate themselves, or they buy renovated houses and kind of build that into the mortgage and the equity.
So basically it's the requirement, what you are looking for, what kind of houses and what kind of location you are looking for. And if you're looking for an older location where everything is accessible, that's a good way of you can contact Namcolor for that also, because that's a good way and good trend for old people, or maybe the new generation. Because let's say I am interested in buying an old house with a huge yard at the back rather than buying a brand new house. That's my own choice.
It's a personal preference. And it also depends on where you are in your life set, right? In terms of, are you at university, right? Are you married with young kids? Are you, planning on living in an apartment and traveling because, that's what you want to do for the next 3, 4, 5 years? So it really depends on, are your parents are going to live with you? Is your extended family going to live with you? Or are you looking to get a house and build a rental suite that you can, still afford a house even if you lose your job or don't have a job, or if you want to take an easy job, right? So it really depends on, and we have all those options in a city like Edmonton. So we can go to the infills, we can go to the apartments, we can go to the townhomes, we can go to brand news. It really all depends on your personal preference. And obviously having that knowledge of building it myself, and the building code, it really helps. And I can go, if we wanted to do an infill property, I have the knowledge of, hey, city requirements, or the Alberta building code requirements, this is what you would need to do in order to do this, this, and this. So I can really guide the clients to the buyers to do this. On the same token, same thing with the sellers. If they want to sell an older lot or older home, I can tell them, hey, this is a good opportunity that somebody as an investor will buy it, because the lot size is bigger. They can build 2 skinnies, build half duplexes, or if we renovate it, we can rent it or sell it as an investor rental property.
So it means like you can also help people, if those who wants to build their own house by themselves.
Absolutely.
Right? It's
Absolutely.
not like you have to go through the builder.
No.
But you can also help guide them.
Guide them, that's right. So obviously there's, I can provide them with that information, guide them from A to Z, all the way from starting with the property that we look for it. This is depending on what the requirements are, where they're looking, and get them started, get it finished, and get them moved into that house with their touches of interiors or exteriors, however they and the size and the money they want to spend.
Perfect. So see friends, there are so many things which Nam can give you a guidance on, and please give a call to Nam. His number is mentioned below, and definitely subscribe our channel and like our shows. That will be really great. We are really happy that you are asking so many questions. Now we come up to another thing which is very important: after sales services. Like there are so many people who are doing sales, one is done. What is your after sales service USP?
So my biggest thing is I'm attached to my phone. Like I'm always on my phone. People are like, hey, why are you answering your phone? Why are you doing this? But I tell them the same thing. Think about it, if you were my client, or if I had dealt with you and I'm somewhere else and you call me, you'd expect me to answer that phone. So, and I as I was driving here to get on the show here, a client called me, bought the house probably about 3 months ago, and he's got some trouble with his water tank. Yeah. So I don't have to answer the phone call. I don't have to answer the text message because the deal's done. I've already moved on to the next thing. But no, I've built a relationship with them. I know him personally. He's like, hey, I have a problem with my water tank. I gave him the name of the plumber. I gave him a couple things. Hey, you could, because I know the building stuff. I've owned a home. I know what to do with some of these things. So I said, hey, here's the plumber's number. Call him. He'll help you out. First, I told him, hey, you can try this, try that to make sure, turn it on, turn it off, and do all those things to make sure there's, maybe you don't need to call a plumber.
So it means like you're not only selling the house, but
No.
after that you have connections with the trade people if somebody is needing help, because you are into construction.
As well, and then I don't leave them stranded, right? So if they need help in terms of anything, and the furnace breaks down, or plumbing, or electrical issues, or roofing issues, I always go above and beyond and help them that, and that I try to do that with every client.
That's wonderful. And there is another thing which is coming in my mind, which is once you close the deal,
Yes.
what are the requirements at that time before closing the deal? Because I have come across, there are questions which have been asked on our show,
Yes.
that there are like home inspection requirements, there is like some reports like the RPR reports,
yes.
and all these things.
Yeah.
What is those things actually?
So when you come from not having any experience in real estate, in terms of you're just renting here, or you haven't been into this country to learn to do those things, it's actually a very lengthy process in order to go from searching a home, putting an offer on it, getting a mortgage done, then getting the inspection done, closing the deal, going to lawyers, getting all the documents done. It's not that simple. Some people think, hey, you can just do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it'll take you a lot longer versus if you take an expert's advice.
Mm-hmm.
So from the time once you make an offer, you like a house, there's 4 or 5 significant important steps that number one, you need to hire a lawyer.
Okay.
That person, that lawyer firm, is going to be the one who's going to transfer the documents from the bank that are mortgage associated with that property and put that on the land title for your name.
So going forward from there,
Yeah.
Both seller and buyer has to have a different lawyer?
Some banks are required they have a different lawyer.
Okay.
I also suggest it's better to have a different lawyer, just in case you have a conflict of interest, or the property doesn't close as it should, or if there's any issues, then if you need to file any types of recourse, either caveats or go to the court or have any claims, you probably want to be represented by a different legal team with that expert experience with real estate. Right? So that lawyer, that firm, that person can guide you through that. Hey, this is what we need in terms of either title insurance or occupancy permit or rough grade certificate or RPR, short for a real property report. All those things that can guide you. And obviously, I have the experience. I would obviously, when we meet, sit down, absolutely go through the details, tell you check mark list. Hey, we will have to do this. We will do this. This is done. This is done. And then proceed to the lawyers. Once that deal happens, that lawyers say it's good to go, get the money transferred, then obviously meet you at the property, make sure it's in the same shape, or walk through it, do all those sorts of things for either sellers or buyers.
And what about the home inspection?
Home inspection happens usually prior we kind of firming up the deal, right? So it's just like having a condition of the mortgage, right? Make sure you have the financing and done. And we also, even with the new home, I always tell my buyers, even when I build it, I tell them, hey, get an inspection, get a third-party inspection. Even though the inspections are done from an Alberta building code through the city of Edmonton or Beaumont or Sherwood Park, you still probably want a third set of eyes that comes here that looks at it from a different perspective, different angle, in case the builder or the inspectors from the cities missed anything, or if there's something that they've overlooked. So it's probably a good thing to do that, to have that inspection done. It's only costing $400 or $500, but think about it. Your investment is over $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. What is $500 to spend, and having that mind, at peace that somebody has looked at it and it's good to go. And
there definitely that report that the home inspector is obviously licensed to do that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So he can give you proper guidance on that.
And they've been through. We are only going through 1 or 2 or 10 houses. That inspector's probably been through thousands of houses in the last 4, 5, 6 years, however long they've been in the market or in their career. Probably either they've worked with probably a company or a city of Beaumont or Edmonton or anything where they know what the codes are, what the deficiencies are. So they're the experts and they've been through thousands. They've seen 1,000 things.
So Nam, do you also help all your clients in financing, home inspection,
Absolutely.
and all the requirements which they need. Right?
Absolutely,
And lawyers as well.
and the lawyers as well. So being in the industry, being in this market, you make contacts, and then you know who's good,
Yes.
who's bad.
Absolutely.
So because it's not, I haven't sold one home. It's not like I've just So I've dealt with different lawyers, different condo document review people, different firms in terms of inspections, BMO, CIBC for mortgage, private lenders, all those things. So I know who's going to provide the service, who's going to be best for that client in terms of what they're looking for, either as a seller, as a buyer, or an upgrade, whatever they're looking
Absolutely.
for.
So friends, see, there are why we call all the professional realtors on our show, because the house is a dream. It's not that everybody can afford, and there is affordability ratio also, like
Of course.
obviously, like how much you qualify for that, right? So realtors can guide you in that aspect also, like this is the amount you qualify, and based on that they will help you to buy a house, right?
That's right.
So that's wonderful, Nam. So friends, as I told you again, Nam Kular is here. He will be here on every Tuesday answering your questions. Please give a call to him if you have any questions or doubts about the property you are buying. He will be there to help you out. And Nam, before we end, do you have any message for our clients?
Hey, like I said, thank you for having me here. Again, my background, as before I became a realtor, I was building and I'm still building. So my expertise goes in doing homes, building homes, selling homes, buying homes for my clients, and I have all the right contacts in the industry, be it inspectors, be it mortgage, be it lawyers that we need to put this through. So anytime anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate. Give me a text, give me a call, send me a quick email, find me on social media, and I would be more than happy to help you guys out.
Perfect, friends. Have a nice day, and Nam will be waiting for your questions, right? Thank you very much.